everyone, welcome on board. My name is Lucas and I'll be your guide today. Our captain today is Peter and he's going to take us through the canals of Copenhagen. Hej alle sammen, velkommen ombord. Mit navn er Lucas, jeg skal være guide i dag. Vores kaptajn i dag er Peter, han kommer til at sejle igennem kanalerne her i København. Lige til at starte med skal jeg lige høre, er der nogen, der vil have den her på dansk ud over engelsk, så er det en lap i vejret. Ja, der var en del faktisk. Er det jøderne, vi har ombord? Turen her tager de omtrent en times tid, så vi gerne være tilbage her i Nyhavn igen. Vi kan godt blive lidt forsinket på grund af trafik, men vi vil selvfølgelig forsøge at undgå det igen så vidt som muligt. På turen her går der til at være mange, der ikke har lavet broer, så det bliver bedt på siden, så det er ekstremt vigtigt, at de gør det. Det er naturligvis af ren og skærs sikkerhedsmæssige årsager. The duration of the tour is approximately an hour, and we should be back here in Nyhavn once again. It might be a bit late due to traffic out on the sea, but we will try to avoid it as much as possible. On this tour, there's going to be many low bridges, so when your toes remain seated, it's very important you do so. It's obviously for your own safety. And the upcoming bridge is Canal, please remain seated. There's both Canal and Scenic. Despite the name Nyhavn or New Harbour, it's not really that new. It was stopped down all the way back in the 1600s by Swedish prisoners of war. Back then they were plans to extend it even further, but due to the war ending between Denmark and Sweden, there wasn't any workers to do the dirty job. When it was finished though in 1643, this was a very big slum filled with drunken sailors, prostitutes, tattoo shops and all of those drunken sailor things. However, in the 1970s it was slowly renovated and it became this very beautiful and popular tourist attraction as we know it today. It's also the most photographed place in the whole country. Vi sejler nu ud af Nyhavn, og på trods af navnet Nyhavn blev det først udgravet tilbage i 1600-tallet. Det gjorde deres svenske krigsfanger. Da det stod færdigt i 1643, så var det her et kæmpe stort slip. Det var til med stive sejler, prostituerede, tatovører og alle de her stive sejlerting. Men igennem 1970'erne valgte man så at renovere området og skulle til det her meget smukke og meget populære turistattraktion, som vi kender det i dag. Det er det mest fotograferede sted i hele landet. Christianshavn. It's this very beautiful place with all those houseboats, you can spot them. It haven't always been like this though. It was knocked down all the way back in the 1600s by Christian IV. He wanted to extend our fortifications at the time, but he also wanted to make money on the place. Therefore, he used Amsterdam as a model to build this place and hoped he could attract many sailors from the Netherlands to come up, live and pay their taxes, and that way earn money. However, like anything else Christian IV did, it didn't work out. It became a very huge money slum and was so bad it could live out here tax-free in the first 12 years. Through the 17 and 1800s, there were many fires in the most central part of Copenhagen, but they didn't reach all the way out here. Therefore, this place remained intact and then over the years became this very beautiful and very expensive place as we know it today. You'll see the older buildings as we get further into the canal. Vi sejler nu igennem Christianshavn. Det blev udgravet tilbage i 1600-tallet, og det gjorde det af Christian den 4. Han ville udvide vores derværende fæstninger, men han ville også gerne tjene penge på stedet. Derfor brugte han Amsterdam som model til at bygge det her sted, og så håber jeg på, at vi tiltrække en masse handelsegne nede fra Amsterdam af. Men lidt ligesom alt andet Christian den 4 gjorde, så gik de i vasken. Det var et kæmpe stort mudret slum, og det blev så slemt at kunne bo ude i Scenic de første 12 år. Igennem 1700- og 1800-tallet var der en masse brande i den mere centrale del af København, men de nåede ikke hele vejen herud, og derfor forblev det her sted intakt. Vi så igennem årene det her meget smukke, men også meget dyre sted, som vi kender det i dag. I vil kunne se de ældre bygninger, når vi når længere ind i kanalen. On the left side we have this yellow and white building. It's an old orphanage dating back to the 1750s. Just 20 years later in the 1770s it was converted into a marine hospital. To make it easier to approach the hospital, the upcoming canal on the right side was dug out. West at side af den her gule bygning, et gammelt børnehjem tilbage på 1750'erne, men bare 20 år senere i 1770'erne vælger man at det om til et marinehospital. For at gøre det nemmere at komme ind til hospitalet, så udgraver man kanalen på højre side. The canal on the right side was dug down to make it easier to approach the hospital. So, the next bridge is low, but just after the bridge you can get a very quick picture of our Saviour's Church on the left side, just after the bridge. So, cameras out if you want the picture, you have to be quite quick. On the left side, just after the bridge. Vi skal til at tage en lav bro, og lige efter broen kan I se, at vi faktisk kigge på venstre side. Så det er et billede, så det er så frem med kameraerne, og så skal de gøre det stærkt med billederne. Det er på venstre side lige efter broen. And the next bridge is low, please remain seated. Næste bro er så det siddende. Pozeraj sa na túto stranu za mostom a tuto sa pozeraj, tam taký zaujímavý človek. Takú zvláštnu vežu. Povieš mi, čím je zvláštna. Čím je tá veža zvláštna? Tak, počkaj, uvidíš teraz. Čím je tá veža zvláštna? Je zlatá. A čo tam ide okolo? Vidíš? Taká špirála. Tam máš okolo také schody. Ne, je škoda. If you didn't get the picture of the church but the tree instead, we have a Facebook page for that. It's called The Tree Next to Our Saviour's Church. Our Saviour's Church was built in the late 1600s, although the tower was added later in the 1750s to celebrate Christianity in Scandinavia. If you want, you can actually get all the way up to the top of the tower, but only stairs are available, so it's a long tour, but definitely worth it. Det er faktisk kirke ved byggeslutningen af 1700-tallet, man tager tårnet. Slutningen af 1600-tallet. Ved byggeslutningen af 1600-tallet, og man tager tårnet på senere i 1750'erne. Det gjorde man for kristendom i Skandinavien. Hvis I skulle huske det, først når vi var der i toppen af tårnet, men der er kun trapper tilgængeligt til en lang tur, men helt sikkert det der. The next bridge is very low. Please remain seated while we pass the next bridge. Den næste bro er meget lav, så det sidder så er den næste nede. And be aware of the selfie sticks as well. Just after the bridge, we'll reach a quiet zone where I have to be silent. I'll be back in a few minutes though. In the meantime, you can try and notice the buildings on the opposite side. They are old ones, they're supposed to look like the ones at Amsterdam. Vi efterhånden her over min stillesøge, der er opbygget for at stille deres væg ind med Canal, hvor det er mærkt til bygningerne i de gamle skolide fra Amsterdam.
Kanály sa rôzne plávajú. Keď tak si dá ísť za mesto do mora a tam plávajú. Plávať kanály. Najmôžete plávať. Na toho mesto venku parkujú. Oni majú vyššie. Asi nie, ale keď si asi. Také, to bol každú vodu asi. Ja, že tí domáci tam nekývajú, to som nehovoril, že asi preto to dovolili, akože celkovo, že vyhnali, boli tam tí domáci, že celkovo tam zasahovali. A to boli podľa mňa skutky o potom. To už to podedíš, vieš.
And I'm back again. And you're stuck with me for the rest of the tour now. In front of us, we have the circular bridge, was drawn by Olof Elias and was an artist from Iceland. He thought people in Copenhagen always rushed from A to B without taking notice of the surroundings or enjoy the tour. Therefore, he's drawn this bridge where you do just that. You can stand on the sides, enjoy the view without interrupting the ongoing traffic. Broen, vi skal sejle under her, det er Cirkelbroen. Den blev tegnet af Olof Eliasen, som er kunstner op på Island. Jeg synes, at folk altid er så travlt med at komme fra A til B her i København, uden at nyde turen eller udsigten, og derfor har tegnet den her bro, og det gør lige præcis det. Man kan stå ud på siderne, nyde udsigten, uden at forstyrre den igangværende trafik. In front of us we have the Black Diamond. It's called the Black Diamond because when the sun is shining in the right angle, the water will reflect onto the black stones and it sparkles like a diamond. You see that little bit on the left side. It functions as an extension of the Royal Library and was built out of granite from St. Pauli. På højre side der har vi den sorte diamant, og det hedder den diamant, som måske er et rigtig vigtigt, så reflekterer de sorte sten sig. Den skal reflektere vandet som det sorte sten, og den skinner som en diamant. Det fungerer som en udvidelse af det kongelige bibliotek og bebygget ud af granit nede fra St. Pauli af. På højre side har vi også de her orange pakhuse. De er blevet opført tilbage i 1400-tallet, hvor vi skulle skib i den kanal, der havn skal til at sejle ind i. Skabjørn, og så er det her meget svagt område, når det kommer til fjender. On the right side we have these old warehouses with the very tall orange roofs. They were built in the 1400s to defend the ships inside the canal or harbor we are about to enter. Back in the 1400s this was a very vulnerable area to enemies. Another note about the Black Diamond is the architect behind it wanted the Black Diamond to blend in with the old part of the library which is located next to it. You may have to argue how that went though.
Dáno v tom si strašne teplo, že to hľadajú aj takým spôsobom vláženia.
On the left side we have Lux, which is the center of architecture in Denmark. Ironically, was also won second place in being the ugliest building in Copenhagen. The ugliest one was a red one next to Vesterport station. The next bridge is low, please remain seated. This one episode is Scenic. And the upcoming bridge is also low, please remain seated. Næste bro også der også blive siddende. On our right side you can get a second view of one of those old warehouses. This one in particular was used in 1610 to store beer. Back in 1610 the drinking water in Copenhagen wasn't clean nor safe to drink, therefore it was safer to drink beer. The soldiers back then got rations on their beer. They got all the way up to 10 liters each day. It might be why we lost the wars at the time as well. Der højre side, der har vi et andet flip af det ene af de her varme pakhuse. Det er specifikt blevet brugt i 1610 til at opbevare øl. Dengang var drikkevandet hverken rent eller sikkert at drikke i København, derfor er det mere sikkert at drikke øl. Soldaterne fik rationer for deres øl, de fik op til 10 liter om dagen.
É, isto é pessoal que mora aqui. Pois.
The upcoming bridge is low as well, please remain seated. Næste bro også lav, så blive siddende.
Je to čo myslím?
In front of us we have the Marble Bridge. It's what I personally believe is the most beautiful bridge here in Copenhagen. It's part of the last remains of the first Christian Borg which burned down in late 1700s. The first Christian Borg also had a ring wall surrounding it, and that's the one we have on our right side. Despite the name, the Marble Bridge is actually built out of sandstone and just painted to look like marble. And just for future reference on the tour, there have been 3 Christmas Borgs in total. The royal family lived in the first and the second one, and they burned down in late 17 and late 1800s. They both burned down due to malfunctioning heating system made out of wood. They made the same mistake twice. Hvor vi stadig sejler under her, det er marmor. Den er blandt de sidste rester af første Christiansborg, som brændte i slutningen af 1700-tallet. Det første Christiansborg er Østringen, og rundt om så er det den, vi har på højre side. For trods af navnet marmor på, er den faktisk bygget ud af sandsten. Og bare lige for fremtidsreference på turen, der har været 3 Christiansborg i alt. Det første og andet er der, hvor kongefamilien boede, og de brændte hen i slutningen af henholdsvis 1700- og 1800-tallet. Den næste bro, den er lav, men den er også meget, meget smal. Derfor er det ekstremt vigtigt, at alle har hænderne indenbords. Jeg ser, at der kan blive knust mellem broen og båden, derfor er altså hænderne indenbords. Lad være at røre ved broen. The next bridge is low, but also very, very narrow. And therefore it's very important that everyone keep their hands inside the boat. Your hands will get crossed between the bridge and the boat. Therefore, hands inside the boat. That goes for your elbows as well. Keep them inside the boat. Also, elbowene hold dem inden for plastiklinjen. Elbows, keep them inside. Thank you.
Okay. Takých vodných malých a takto.
A teraz sa tu zasekneme.
Please keep your heads inside the boat as well, also in the back. Thank you.
Nie, to sa to musí opatrne otočiť. Tak, lebo sme veľmi dlhý. Ale že on to sa tým dal, že sa tiež tak požičať, ale väčšinou, že to je 2 mesiace do tej vykupovať.
Ale vode? Máme kapitánsky.
Asi možno, že to brať z tých kanálov v pohode.
Že sa splási.
Ja neviem, za to, že to je z kapitánu.
Asi, akože ne, tak uvidíme, že ten pohyb tu je obrovský, že tu by som nepustil nikoho bez papieru, ani na tú padobu, ale to je ešte naopak.
Tak hore v tej veži, vieš to. Neviem, jak to, že metal driafa, náchodák, ale že... Koľká? Ja sa snažím mať tie klopy na tvoje hlavy.
A je tam akože nejaký, tak si vlastne nedal vpredu, lebo máš tak svoje. A že... Na poďme.
In front of us, we have this green church tower. Below that, we have Absalon riding a horse, seen more clearly as we get closer. He is known to be the founder of Copenhagen, and he did so back in the 1700s. He was ruling the country alongside his brother, King Valdemar the Great. Absalon himself was a bishop at the time. They were also the first ones to bring Christianity into Denmark, and they were the first ones to get the story written down. They did so by paying Saxo, and therefore there is a bit of an uncertainty whether the story is true or not. I personally do not believe in the story, but we have decided to stick to it here in Denmark. So therefore, Absalon riding a horse is the founder of Copenhagen. The whole area we are sailing through right now is called Canal, which translates to Old Beach. There used to be a beach here in the 1500s, and in the 1600s another beach was added to Denmark, to Copenhagen, and this became Old Beach. And then the Old Beach was removed again, and we never bothered changing the name. Back in the days, the fishermen came in here on our left side, and they got their right to set in their fish. To commemorate that time, a little statue is put up in front of the metro station of a woman selling her husband's fish. I'll put both statues up as we get closer. Det område, vi sejler igennem her, det var et gammelt strand. Der plejede at ligge en strand her tilbage i 1500-tallet, og det er det helt bare strand. Men så i 1600-tallet bygger man en ny strand i København, og det bliver til et gammelt strand. Og så vil ikke rigtig gerne ændre navnet siden. Før i tiden så plejede fiskerne at komme ind her, og de fik så deres koner til at sælge deres fisk på vores venstre side. På mindens tid så har man sat lidt i statuer på en metrostation af en kvinde, der sælger hendes mands fisk. Og sat op i 1939. The statue in front of the metro station of a woman selling her husband's fish put up in 1939. And the statue of Absalon riding the horse, the founder of Copenhagen, riding the horse up here on our left side as well. The upcoming bridge can go over, just mind the heads from the fasten. Næste bro kan være lidt lav, bare lige ved opførsholder.
To jest kapitan, jakiś nie wiem, slash, ona na papierze.
On our right side we have Christiansborg. This is the third version built in 1928. It currently houses the Supreme Court and a big political parliament. In front of Christiansborg we have Frederick owning a horse, who is known to be the last king to have absolute power and gave us the Constitution in 1849. Just after he signed it, he went on to a picnic with his family and wife with the idea he is now fulfilled his duties as king. When we got our Constitution in 1849, we also got our democracy, but it was only the rich people who were allowed to vote. Women and as well the rank and the retards only got their possibility in 1915. There are those who needed social help and the criminals only got their chance much later. Today though, everyone can vote if they have a Danish passport, and that's perfect to 7. Og altid er vi Christiansborg. Det her det er den 3. version, det er 1928. Hvor Christiansborg har vi fra ikke 700 på en hest. Han er den sidste enevældige konge i Danmark, og det er grundlov tilbage i 1849, juli den 5. Det næste brug er at lave forskellige sælge. The next question is slow, please remain seated. The National Bank of Denmark. It's currently about to get its third place, but they have only done one part so far as a prototype. And they haven't gotten any further since I started working here really. I don't know if they gave up or what is happening, but I do know one stone weighs approximately 70 kilograms. På venstre side, der har vi Nationalbanken, og den prøver at udskifte sine stik nu her. Jeg ved noget helt særligt indtil videre, at de faktisk ikke kommer længere siden jeg startede med at arbejde her. Det er en prototype. Altså den tøj, de har fikset. This will cover out by the offshore shore. The next place can below just mind your heads. Coming up on the right side, we have Iris Warehouse. There was an architect in Denmark back in the 1750s. Behind a main one to look at later on. When this warehouse was built, the king lived at Christiansborg and therefore could only see one side of his building and didn't see any good reason to make the opposite side pretty. Since he couldn't see it, it would be a waste of resources. Therefore, on the right side, the white building, very pretty on this side, very empty and naked on the opposite side. Whereas the her den her hvide bygning, den er enormt smuk på den her side, hvis når vi ser den anden side, vil I se, den er meget bare kedelig. Derfor er det, man byggede den, der boede kongen på Christiansborg, så man kunne kun se en side af bygningen, og så er derfor ikke nogen grund til at lave den anden side pæn. Den har til at være ejblevet som arkitekt i Danmark tilbage i 1750'erne, og står blandt andet bag Amal og ingeniør på det første Christiansborg. On the left side, you can get a very quick picture of Canal if you want. That's to be quite quick, so be ready on the left side just after the next bridge. Det ved ikke, om jeg finder det interessant, men på venstre side efter broen kan jeg få et hurtigt billede af en nyhavn, hvis I skulle have lyst. Så går det stærkt, så det starter efter broen. The bridge we are about to pass on that is called the Kissing Bridge. and it's called so because it looks like it's kissing when it's opening and closing. When they built it, they made many mistakes. First of all, they made the wrong calculations, so it couldn't close properly. And when they solved the issue, they figured out they used the wrong materials, so they started up all over again. Ended up costing around 80 million more than first anticipated, and it's quite expensive in its maintenance due to its hydraulics. Danmark in a nutshell. Hvor vi skal til at sejle under her, det er Kosovo. Der er bygget lavet en lang række fejl. Man lavede for det første de forkerte beregninger, som ikke lugten ordentligt. Og da man så endelig fik løst det her problem, fandt man ud af, at de forkerte materialer, det var passende at starte forfra igen. Det endte med at koste omkring 80 millioner mere end først antaget. And the picture of Canal on the left side if you want. On our right side we have this building with the weird roof. The roof has the same size as 3 football fields and it's free hanging. It's actually free hanging 32 meters out into the open air and it's among the largest free hanging roofs in the world. The building itself is the Opera House and was donated by Maersk. The architect behind it is Henning Larsen. Originally Henning Larsen wanted the front of the building to be made out of pure glass around those lines. The idea was when the sun was shining, the water would reflect into the lamps and they'll cast a shadow up to the ceiling and make a shadow show. However, since Maersk was paying for the building and he wanted his lines, after a long mature and court against Henning Larsen, they got them. If you look at the Opera House now, and you look up to the left, you'll see the marble church and a Marienborg throughout this residence. The location of the Opera House isn't a coincidence. It was located here for Maersk to show off his power. We have this visible line between the church, the king, and then Maersk himself. He originally brought the land surrounding the Opera House and wanted to put something big or spectacular on it, but was never given the permission to do so. Instead, we ended up with a park or garden, depending on what the difference are. I'm not entirely sure myself, really. On the right side, where smoke is coming up from the chimney, we have Copenhagen or Copenhagen. It's a garbage burning plant and a machine for a household. It's not the cool thing about it though. The cool thing about it is that there's a climbing wall on it so you can climb up, and then you can lay on top where you can get something to eat. And there's a ski slope so you can ski down again. It's called Copenhagen or Copenhagen if you want to visit. Højre side, hvor kommer over ud Skåsten, der har vi Copenhagen. Det er brændingsanlæg, og det laver varme og elektricitet til husholdninger. Men ikke designet. Designet er, at der er en klatrevæg på, som man kan klatre op. Så er der en café på top, hvor man kan få noget at spise. Og så er der sådan en skibakke, så man kan stå på ski og gå af igen. Det han var mange tilfælde til at besøge det. Ved højre side, der har vi også et lille område med Holmen. Holmen er til dels et militært område, men også et krigsmuseum. Foran de grønne træer, der har vi en stor ubåd, den er sæl, og det var sidste ubåd, den danske flåde. Og sidste gang udslæt i 2003, den blev nord for Irak, og der var de skibe, der passerede gennem farvandet. Lidt længere fremme, der har den der fregat F352, den kender jeg godt. Det blev slam, og det blev så kendt i Danmark, fordi vi kom til at afføre musik i nogle sommerhuse. Vi har under en øvelse, hvor den simulerer den afføde musik, så derfor løste det på et passagerskib. Men når vi så drager nøglen, der vil man have den her softwarefejl, og missilet den affyrer. Men når der er en hul, kan man afværge det her missil, så der rammer ind i nogle træer og støtter ned i nogle sommerhuse, hvor ingen der kommer til skade. The whole area on our right side is called Holmen. Holmen is a military area that also a war museum. In front of the green trees we have this black submarine. It's called the Seal or Sail, and it's the last submarine the Danish Navy had. The last time saw service in 2003 when it was located north of Iraq. I was looking out for the ship as it flew quarters. A bit further forward we have this fregat, the F352. That's picturesque. It's known in Denmark because it accidentally fired a missile into some summer houses. It did so during a drill. They were supposed to simulate firing the missiles, so they locked it onto a passenger ship because why not? When they turned their keys to figure out they had a software mistake when the missile launched. By pure luck they were kind of bent around of the missile, so it hit some trees and crashed down to the summer houses where no one was dead or injured. We nicknamed it the Picture missile. On our right side we also have this green area with all the cannons. It's the battery 60s. It was built back in the 1600s to defend Denmark against Sweden and our enemies. The four green cannons on the right side are German ones, also used during Second World War. The red ones to the left are Danish one, and was used at Nilsjø, which is known warship in Denmark back in the 1880s. The white ones in the middle are used today to fire a cannon each morning and evening to celebrate the Danish flag. På højre side der har vi batteriet Sixtus, vi bygger tilbage i 1600-tallet for at beskytte Danmark mod Sverige og andre fjender. I dag dog, der bruger man de to små hvide kanoner til at affyre kanonen hver morgen og aften for at hylde det danske flag. På højre side der har vi også Vejfaldsøen, det gamle industrielle sted, men i dag er det mest officielle sted. Det er stadig pakket med aktiviteter som bungee jump, ice, street food, paintball, sauna, blues og alle mulige slags aktiviteter. Motorøsten Festival er så separeret og distortion, men jeg ved i år også sidste gang Copenhagen var afholdt, fordi man har været bygget lejligheder over. Hvad der skal ske med de resterende aktiviteter, det vil jeg simpelthen ikke. On our right side we have Vejfaldsøen, og det er Vejfalds Island. It's a little industrial place, or a stage more experimental place. It's a place packed with activities like bungee jump, go high, street food, sauna, paintball, and houses all sorts of activities. The black and white crane on the right side is where you do the bungee jump. And I heard if you want to do it naked, you can do it for free. And the water plane is landing on our right side in front of the rounded building. Vandflyveren lander på højre side foran Silo, gammel Silo-bygning. Not nearly as interesting as the water plane, we also have a swan on the right side. This is specifically the mute swan and it's the national bird of Denmark. They're very beautiful and majestic but also very, very aggressive. So if you have kids you can do just like my parents did to me. Tell them to try and go feed them while they took their cameras out and watch me nearly die from a swan attack. Quite the entertainment though.
Mala, alebo že nie je veľmi ťažké.
Však.
Coming up next, we have the Little Mermaid. She was sculptured back in 1913 by Ulrik Eriksson, but it was actually Carl Jacobsen who wanted her built. He saw a very beautiful ballet about the Little Mermaid and therefore wanted to make a sculpture of the first ballerina. She didn't want it to model for him though. It ended up being the sculpture Ulrik Eriksson's wife who was modeling for him. She has ever since become this very beautiful and popular tourist attraction in Denmark. She's also the second most disappointing one in Europe, and she's seen some vandalisms over the years. She has been beheaded twice, her stomach's been exploded, and she had a background during the Mohammed crisis. På højre side, der har vi en lille havfrue. Den blev skulptureret tilbage i 1913, gjorde hun af Ulrik Eriksson, men det var egentlig Carl Jacobsen, som gerne ville have en bygget. Han så en smuk billet omkring en lille havfrue, og derfor gerne bygge en skulptur af første ballerina. Det ville hun ikke stå model til, så den med at blive skulptørens kone. Ulrik Erikssons kone, der stod model til det. Og sidenhen blev hen og blevet den meget smukke og populære turistattraktion i Danmark. Den er også den mest skuffende i Europa, og prostitueret herværk over årene. Den blev halshugget 2 gange, i stedet af eksploderet, og den blev på under Mohammed-krisen. But by the way, the water plane is on our left side, it's quite interesting. Next up on the right side we have 3 warehouses in a row. And by the way, Samka is from Master, a little island in Denmark. It's where I took my swim. Nevertheless, we have 3 warehouses in a row. The first one is behind Samka, and that's from when the Netherlands decided to colonize the West Indian islands in Caribbean. We couldn't get their colonies to function properly, so Denmark ended up buying them, and we could definitely use them. The next one is the yellow one, and that's when we colonized Greenland. We stored things like whale meat, seal, crab, salmon, all of those things we get from Greenland. The third and last one is the red one, and that's when we colonized Ghana on the west coast of Africa. We store things like sugar, coffee, chocolate, all of those exotic sweets we can get our hands on. Next up on the right side we have a main ball. A main ball is the royal family's residence and was built in the 1750s by 4 rich men who earned their money on the colonies we had at the time. In the late 1700s, the first Christmas ball burned down and the royal family desperately needed a new home. After about a week of negotiations, they figured out they could live here, and they liked it quite a lot. Despite of the second Christmas ball being finished in the meantime, they decided to stay here. It was only when Frederick VII got the crown he decided to move the royal family to the second Christmas ball, which then fairly shortly afterwards ended up burning down in the late 1800s. And they moved back here and lived here ever since. Behind it, we have the marble church. It houses one of the largest stones in the whole north of Europe. Try and notice the little green statue in the middle, and then I'll be back in English. På højre side, der har vi Marienborg. Det blev bygget tilbage i 1750'erne af 4 adelsmænd, som tjente deres penge på de kolonier, vi havde på daværende tidspunkt. I slutningen af 1700-tallet så var det første Christiansborg, og kongefamilien var desperat et sted at bo. Derfor valgte de at flytte hertil, og de kunne rigtig godt lide at bo her. Jeg tror også, at alle Christiansborg blev færdiggjort, men de faktisk blive boende, og det er først når Frederik den 7. han får kronen, og han vælger at rykke kongefamilien over på det andet Christiansborg. Nu så alligevel forholdsvis kort tid efter ender med at brænde ned igen, så flytter tilbage hertil og bor her lige siden. Bagved, der havde de Marmorkirken, den har en af de største kupler i hele Nordeuropa. The little green statue in the middle is actually more expensive than the 4 buildings together. The reason for that being the sculpture behind it was paid by the hour, and he got food, drinks, a place to stay, everything while working on it. Therefore it took him approximately 15 years to construct, and he was drunk after time. Next up on the right side we have the new playhouse. It was built halfway into the water with the idea it should be a living part of the harbour. It's also filled with all those windows with the idea that everyone should know what's going on inside. Well, I can tell you they're currently showing the Little Mermaid. However, it's the original version and not the Disney version. In the original version, the sadly ends up as foam on top of the water. På højre side har vi det nye skuespilshus bygget i 2008. Det blev bygget halvvejs ned vandet med en idé om, at det skulle være en lille dækkende havn. Og så fik vi alle de her vinduer, men det er, hvad der skulle vide, hvad der foregik indeni. Jeg kan fortælle dig, at på nuværende tidspunkt viser det lille havfru, så originalversionen er ikke Disney-versionen. I den originale version er nogle desværre som skub på havets overflade. So we are now about to enter Nyhavn on the harbor once again. In here, Hans Christian Andersen used to live. He used to live in here because he wanted to be a ballet dancer at the Royal Theatre, but was unfortunately deemed to be too ugly and therefore never got his chance. Instead, he became a narrator writer and wrote The Little Mermaid as an example. I will point his house out as we get closer. Vi sejler nu i Nyhavn igen, og her er der bare H.C. Andersen at bo. Han boede herinde, det er en gammel dansk billet på Det Kongelige Teater, men fik desværre aldrig lov, fordi han fik at vide, at han var for grim. I stedet blev han eventyrforfatter og skrev blandt andet den lille havfruer. Så vi planterer et hus ud, når vi kommer lidt tættere. And the white narrow house on our right side is Hans Christian Andersen's old house. Det hvide smalle hus på højre side er H.C. Andersens gamle hus. If you ever wondered why these houses are so narrow and tall, I can tell that they're also very deep. They are so because we used to pay taxes for how much of the crossmark we used up. Therefore it was cheaper to build them narrow, tall and deep instead of wide. We also had something called windows taxes at one point, but I don't think we got any example of that in here. Speaking of the windows, they are typically quite small on the top floors and quite large on the bottom floors. The reason for that being these. Back in the days, the rich people used to live in the bottom and the poor people in the top. På højre side har vi også træbåden Charlotte i København, det er Christian den 10. gamle båd. Let's go on out and so be siddende. The next bridge is low, please remain seated. Og turen er så småt ved at nå sin ende, så på vegne af mig og Peter vil vi gerne takke jer alle sammen for at have været med. Det var en absolut fornøjelse at være her, og vi håber, I synes det samme, og nu skal vi have en fantastisk dag i det fantastiske vejr. The tour is coming to an end, so on behalf of me and Peter, we want to thank you all for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here, and we hope you think so too, and we wish you a fantastic day in the fantastic weather. Thank you very much. Thank you. We appreciate it. Tusind tak skal I have.
Tak oni sú z toho asi nadšení. V Zloťach sú čak veľmi kino. Hej, pozrieť. Bo ako sa dosť.
Dá tam zábradlie, kde by možno týždňom vystupovať, aby by sa oni obliezli.
Nás vysušil to slaného. To bol vysmrká. Tuto žiť možno, že by to tiež pomohlo.
Tak nebude. Keby si nepamätáš, že keď sme boli v Ománe, nechápala som.
Hej, to ti tam.
And a last quick note, as we get into the back, please stay on the boat until we're given permission to leave with safety things. Also, the narrow house on our left side, a bit behind us, 3 windows and a triangle on top, is Denmark's most narrow house.
Ou viemos mesmo na horinha certa. Tentar subir mais tarde, porque passar aqui muito tempo. Tem que subir as baixas. Aí 2 horas, tem que subir já. Isto também não é teatro, isto é aventura. Subimos mesmo na horinha certa. De manhã deve ser mais fácil de subir.
Prístav. Áno, správne. Tak ako to má byť. Kde sú dnes? Tam chcem ísť. Nič neexistuje horšie ako žali na mori. A neexistuje nič horšie ako na mori, ktorý máme prístav a dostal peniaze. Tam tú cestu kde. Pretože to je čist. To boli pol roka niekde preč a neužili si nič. Nemali žiaden chlad, žiaden záber. Takže keď došli do prístavu, dostali peniaze za to, že veľa peňazí, tak proste to šlo kápo, šírilo. To bol žúr.